what terrorists do is target the innocent deliberately. And therefore, my definition of terrorism is the systematic and deliberate attack, the murder, maiming, and menacing of innocents, of civilians, for political goals. You can tell a lot about terrorists, but what happens when they come to power? Those who fight for freedom and come to power do not impose terrorism. Those who do, who fight in terroristic means, end up as being masters of terrorist states.
Alright, so let's talk about Benjamin Netanyahu's spirit. Benjamin Netanyahu is an infiltrator of biblical things. He has the spirit of Satan all over him. The things he do, the hypocritical things he says, the definitions that he gives, the misunderstanding that he obviously chooses to ignore because the world keeps trying to show him a mirror. He does not want to look at it. So, I seen a video where he was defining a terrorist. And here it is, you have a new generation that if you was to listen can tell you about this, but you don't want to listen. Everything that he defined, he's over that. He's the biggest voice when it comes to Israel and the Palestinian people. He's the biggest voice. All eyes, from his side to both sides, are looking at what he's talking about. You give all the definitions, but you don't give no reflection of what you're talking about. He won't look in no mirror. And I realized, listening to him, because he keep talking about the Holocaust, and then click, he's never went through that. That's why he keeps saying October 7th is the biggest thing since the Holocaust and trying to relate it to that, but it's not that. The amount of people that he's killed, him, just him. You are the reflection of what you keep talking about. You don't want to acknowledge that what you're doing is genocidal by a definition of a genuine Jewish person who gave the definition where they agreed on an international level. You don't want to agree with that's what you're putting people through. Sometimes you can get so caught up in history that you reenact that because that's all you know. And his dad was a historian, right? You could have read some things. You might have looked up to your dad. But I know for a fact in his spirit, when his dad left this earth, that's the first time you seen Benjamin Netanyahu sincerely cry. Sincerely, it was all in his facial expression. I'm talking about I know that feeling. And what it could either make you mad, angry, upset, a whole bunch of things. There can be so many things that piss you off that can make your character turn ugly. In today's time, fast forward to 2025, he has an ugly spirit. And that's the thing I have to say to people because it's really this. It's not the world against Israel. And this is where a person like him who infiltrates what's supposed to happen in biblical times, Revelation, all that, and prophecy being fulfilled, he's an infiltrator. He takes on what it is that the real people are supposed to be going through, and he wants to be the voice in front of them to direct them towards his agenda. But when you break it down and you see the people there are tired, they're tired, they've been protesting all that. He's an infiltrator. He's a spirit of ugliness. He can use all the words of the Bible. He done that in a press meeting, using the Bible against Donald Trump for another agenda that gets back to, okay, we offer that. Let's focus on what he wants. All these different avenues of building new war systems. These are what he showcased. Now they want to sit up here and come after people with this, the TikTok sale went through. They're going to go after Candace. They're going to go after Tucker Carlson. They're showing it. So it's like, okay, see, what everybody was talking about was true. And that's what it is. The truth brings everything out to the light. He's from an older, that man's 70 damn years old. Half this different technology they don't know about. They catching up, but it's like, okay, a lot of generations have built this up. We've been dealing with that shit before y'all go. Yeah, you be on your phone and all that. That's cool. But you don't have the understanding of people can read between the lines and a whole bunch of things. So for you to come, what are you gonna do? You're gonna really be that evil, or you're gonna be more strict to where you really have to control something? Like, cause it's like, man, and that's why I'm going a little bit off note. God has to be upon this earth mandatory in today's time on life, and that's just what it has to be. That's really what it has to be. And for anybody, if you're gonna bust moves for God, make sure that you righteously doing it, and that you don't drive people to have hate. And I have to say this when it comes to a key word that Candace Owens said, to where she was saying, she used the word hate, and then it was hate against the energy when it comes to Benjamin Netanyahu and Israel and Jewish people. It really ain't that. He's an infiltrator of these people. And that's just what it is. He's an infiltrator. He's the wrong spirit to be representing today's story that is being recorded in history. He is the wrong representation of that. He does not take accountability for nothing. He does not care at all. He wants his agenda done. And the world is trying to tell him, leave it alone, it's up. But the world will have to really look at him, break his spirit. No, that's the wrong spirit that's representing these things. It's just that, bro, on life. That's just what it is. Evil has risen in his soul. You see it. It's showing in his face. Simple as that. He used to have a good looking face to him. Now you just see all the evil, the madness, whatnot in him. And a lot of it you can understand that, yes, it can come with having a militant mindset, being, politics and whatnot, But when you throw God in it and all this stuff, and then it's like the things of your action and what you done, he done the most terroristic thing, because we're gonna fast forward on something. Hopefully y'all can catch on to this. When he sent all them letters out to all the people in Gaza that they pretty much better leave, right? One thing you gotta understand is that there's a communication barrier, because these people speak a certain language, the other people speak a certain language. But somewhere in the interpretation, the message got out that he's telling all them to leave. All them flyers, the planes drop it off, whatnot. That's a resource that they have that's more an advantage, but you have a better advantage at being a terrorist towards people than the other people. They're on the ground. The people who are fighting now, Hamas need to go too. Because I done seen some of the most dumbest things. These people don't act civil. That's one thing I done seen in the shit in the Telegram group. They don't talk civil worth nothing. They got business avenues where they still don't talk civil, and a lot of it come from they don't have the education. Then with Hamas, they're smart to talk about things on a political level. So it's like they got some common sense, and then they got allies as well too. But it's like they're horrible. They're horrible. That's just what it is. They did win a political election in 2006, and look, we in 2025. Ain't nothing changed. One of the things that do make me mad, and I have to say this because it really pissed me off when I seen it, is they had this thing where they called it the Jerusalem Operation. Yemen, if that's how you pronounce it, they was glorifying it to where these people snuck on a bus, took the lives of regular people to try to send a message to Benjamin Netanyahu, right? They got their message across, and this where them letters and all that, and Benjamin saying, y'all better go. So I do understand that when it goes to like the situation for situation. But it's really two sides being uncivil. And then it's like, okay, yeah, I had an agreement, whatnot. But the thing is this, outside of Hamas, you got other little brigades, is what they call them. They ain't with all that. So with Hamas talking about, they don't even care. So this really going to be a situation that's going to die down for a little bit and then be started again. That's just what it's going to be. Because first off, when you really look at it, they going towards Iran. That's the whole damn thing. So then it's that. So then it's like Iran coming back, and they got all these other little people in Mars and all these other little communication little factors and whatnot, little brigades that they all got some type of communication going back to Iran and little other little people. So it's gonna continue to be a damn problem. Now, off note, I was reading that Iran won't have capabilities of reaching shit until about 2035 if Israel don't put that pressure on them. And I do understand Benjamin Netanyahu, because it ain't like Benjamin Netanyahu just dumb, because he has to have some type of understanding when it comes to like the reality of this situation at hand. Because okay, if he said somewhere pretty much Iran has said death to America, they definitely have said that shit. So if they were capable, you would have to know what the hell these people up to, because you cannot leave Iran by itself to just lottie-dottie, even though it be all these agreements and whatnot. Because I done read all this shit on I had let it go, but they got nuclear agreements where they agreed that they weren't going to do this. They ain't going to build no nuclear stuff whatnot. It's the resources though, because you got Russia that's already dealing with nuclear facilities, and if Russia and or China really wanted to really get some shit up there with teaching them how to build a big ass nuke. And then this thing too, because with history, Israel is the first one who built a nuke. Like they were the ones who created this whole idea of a nuke. So it is important. It's really like they created a problem and have to solve this shit and not let other people get to this, because it's like researching. If these people learn how to build this damn nuke, the way that they talking, and everybody know Iran get a nuke, it's over. It's over. And then if Iran would be the first to get that up and get them out of there, and but that, and then they already in cahoots with Russia and China, so yeah. It ain't like the United States and all them damn conversations and be knowing what's going on. So really, it's this vice versa I'm going a little bit off note when it comes to the United States and Israel, to where really the United States owns Israel as like a political military force towards the Middle East to like keep eyes on shit what's going on. Then it be the back war. It's like United States the big homie, and then it's like the little homie out there real smart bringing back intel. So it be looking like control and this and that, but it's a whole bunch of shit. But on a spiritual side, excuse my language, with BB is still infiltrated. That's just what it is. He has his own agenda, and it's too much evilness, because it's like we all have common sense, so we see the videos, little babies, and we done seen videos, I done seen babies getting bombed and all that, and it's all under his control and whatnot, being a prime minister. You got other people out there too where they have intentions of really not solving nothing, to where it's like, cause I mean, and I say it from where technology has changed to where, you know, there's so much, and it has been done too. I have to say there's so much research I've read, but to where you can communicate to the Palestinians a new form of communication and flood them with that'll change their mind. Cause I mean, if I was a prime minister, that's what I would do. Like, oh, that's all type of strategies. Okay, well, versus like flyers, like how they sent in this wartime. Flyers of teaching these kids something to keep their mind educated and redirected off of the history, and like building something that's more better versus the militant process of tearing everything down, and then it's all done before Benjamin Netanyahu gets up out of there, because he's already up in age, to where, you know, his goal would be to make sure that it's none of that no more. It's all built, it's all crumbled, and then rebuild a new future through agreements and whatnot, so he can assure that, because you never know when you're gonna die, but he can assure that it'll be done. Because by the time they fix that shit up, we ain't talking about they're gonna fix all that up in a year. It's shit that's sitting dead, his body is under rubble and all that. So that's going to take maybe, who knows, 20, 30 years possible. Because you got to think, everything that's done towards progress is going to take time. So say they got all that rubble out, right? It's going to be you might have some type of architect that's going to come. They got to case the land, test the damn soil, make sure that it's good. Ain't no radiation. There ain't been no nukes over there, but it's been bombs, so bad chemicals. They're going to have to we're going to have to put pipes in the ground for building water. They're going to have to figure out what are we going to do. The schools and all that, when they get to actually building up buildings. Once it's down, they already going to showcase what it is that they done in areas where they got camps at. And then it's like they got to send aid in, and then I seen one where, food is coming in on the cart. I mean, on them crates, like how we be playing Call of Duty, Fortnite, and the crates come. I just seen a video like that. I seen one where people died trying to be under the crate coming down. They so hungry and all that. You can't catch that big ass crate and try to break that. It didn't crush them and they passed. And then the other people went in and still got the food. I'm like, yeah, it's crazy out there. It's just a whole bunch of stuff with that. And the thing is, like, that's why God has to be mandatorily on the table in life. Because it's like, say it's a scenario, I'm going to give a scenario where Benjamin Netanyahu is in a situation where, because like jealousy and control is such a sick thing to where, say it's like, hey, we're just trying to help these people out. For some reason, people want control, and that's what's been built up with this whole thing on the aid coming in, and that's the wrong intention. But if God is on the table, really, and it's like, okay, we letting all that go. Everybody getting along, okay, we're trying to really address this situation because we're all human, and this is the one life that we live. We let food come in, but it's a situation where, okay, how would it make Benjamin Netanyahu feel? Like, say he just maybe in a corner, and then people are bringing in food to the people, the Palestinians and whatnot. They're bringing it in. How would it make you feel if you're watching other people like solve like problems? Like they're really trying to solve a problem. Like, do you really want to take on that? Like, it's gonna be a guilt. It's gonna be a conviction, a spirit. Let's be 100. So it's like, do you want to take that on? Because it's like, once they get to a point of this shit was all for nothing, and it's like yeah, but no, it was all for nothing. Because that's really what it is, all over for nothing. When it's all said and done, that's what I'm talking about. But hopefully I got some message in that, and I will leave it with this. There's always two sides to a story. It's always that, So what you see in today's time is just two sides of the story. What the establishment and the state of Israel is going through, and it's tricky with that because, well, what the state of Israel is going through and what Palestinian people are going through. And the thing that I was saying is the most truthful thing, because outside of before the state of Israel was established, it was the infiltration of groups. And I'll give a story. I can't remember this dude's name, but he was a Zionist. And he was over the German Jews, where he had agreements with Nazi Germany. And there was a situation where he allowed the German Jews to get killed, and it was so sad. And the main ones that got killed was the older ones. But I say that because like he pretty much infiltrated. It was him and some others. They infiltrated the thoughts and the goals that the German Jews had when they were in Germany, and they wanted to stay in Germany. And it was some things where they were going to go somewhere else, and then they came up with the whole idea of going to Palestine. And it goes back to the British and whatnot. And then just deals, too, that was done with the Zionist people when it came to establishing something in Palestine. But they made a deal with Nazi Germany on pretty much taking goods. It was some shit, because the Jewish people in Germany were smart. They were very smart in business and a whole bunch of things. They had like just smart principles. That's just what it is, and you see that in them today. But you have infiltrators. That's the thing. You have infiltrators, and it's going to always be that. And the infiltrators, you should be able to tell them by their works. Is it good or is it evil? Is it love, destruction? What is it? What is it in them? We're in a day to die, and we in today's time. We're in a day of time where you can see people by their works. Benjamin, he need to take a look at that mirror because he ain't doing it. But that's just that on that. But yeah, going back to the whole thing. Back in Germany, the dude pretty much infiltrated their stuff, and people lost their lives and whatnot. Just things were. It was just a bunch of just all of it was just stupid. Stupid. But that was that part of history. But anyway, let's stay on now. Y'all have a good one. Be blessed on life.